first and final word. With Nelson Jordan, I'm Chris Nelson. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page so you can get caught up on all of our content. Follow us on all of our social media pages and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. For today's episode, we have our Week 4 college football shoutouts and callouts, our Red Zone review of the Sunday afternoon slate of NFL games in Week 3, as well as the Sunday night game, which featured the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants. So, let's go ahead and get started. Week 4 in college football. So you guys already know, we've got some shout-outs and we've got some call-outs.
Yeah,
so,
let's go.
Shout out Texas Tech, going to Salt Lake City and putting a beat down on the Utah Utes. Utah made it interesting, getting back in the game at 13-10. Only for Texas Tech to rally off 3 straight touchdowns in the fourth quarter for 21 unanswered points with a backup quarterback in the game who did not look like the backup. He looked outstanding. The defense was immensely impressive throughout, limiting Utah to just 10 points. Extremely impressive performance. Shout out Texas Tech. Shout out that defense. Shout out that quarterback play. Shout out Memphis, erasing a 28-10 deficit, an 18-point deficit, and coming back and winning 32-31, stopping Arkansas at the end of the game, who was driving in, about to have a first and goal at the 5 or 6 yard line, and instead forcing a fumble after the back had gotten the first down and recovering it to finish the game off and hold on for that 1-point win, beating an SEC opponent. That's big time, Memphis. Shout out Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Malik Washington, the true freshman quarterback for Maryland. What a performance he put on as the Maryland Terrapins went into Camp Randall. And man, did they embarrass the Wisconsin Badgers. I mean, that was bad. It got ugly fast, but that kid was impressive. What a performance. Shout out Malik Washington. Shout out Syracuse, going on the road to Clemson and taking it to them. Yeah, the Clemson had a garbage time touchdown and make it look not quite as bad as what we all know it was, but they went in there and whooped up on them. I do have to call out Syracuse, however. Faking injuries in the fourth quarter to slow down Clemson. No, the game was over. No need for that. Come on, guys. Do better. That's not okay. No one wants to see that.
Fined.
Win with some class. Win with some class. Do have to mention, quarterback obviously tore his Achilles. Devastating injury for Syracuse and their star quarterback. Very unfortunate to see. He's in all likelihood going to get a medical red shirt. He'll have multiple years of eligibility remaining, so we hope to see him back on the field as soon as to start next season and playing at the high level that we saw him at through these first few games this year. Backup quarterback came in and threw the touchdown pass for ultimately the dagger, icing on the cake. Obviously mentioned that Clemson had what amounted to a garbage time touchdown after that to answer, but the game wasn't in question any longer. So hopefully the backup quarterback can play well and Syracuse can have some success going forward, but we wish all the best to them and those players. Call out SMU's tackling. Look, Eric McAllister, shout out Eric McAllister, wide receiver for TCU, tremendous performance on his part, and we know that TCU is a prolific passing game. We know that they're very hard to tackle, and he had a great performance, breaking all those tackles, outstanding. But SMU, you have to be able to tackle some. I mean, that was embarrassing. You should be embarrassed by that. It is one thing to give up 5 touchdowns to a prolific passing attack in TCU. It's another thing to do it when you can't simply tackle that man. But what a performance from, what do you have, over 250 yards and 3 touchdowns? Whew, that was impressive.
Yeah.
Shout out North Texas, going on the road to Army and getting the win in overtime. That's big time. Good stuff, North Texas. Shout out. Shout out Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold, their former quarterback for the past couple years, returns, now the starting quarterback of the Auburn Tigers, get the win over him by a touchdown, and you sacked him 10 times, a program record. 10 times. Capped off with back-to-back sacks, the last of which was a safety to essentially ice it. And prior to those two, they had drawn a holding call on Auburn to push me even further back. I mean, that's some serious dominance. Very impressive. However, with that game, call out the SEC officials, the officiating crew for that game. Come on. Yeah. I know the conference already called you all out, so we're just doubling down, but come on. We've got to do better. If your own conference has to come and call you out, you did a poor job. Very sloppy game, frustrating loss for Auburn, but very impressive for Oklahoma. Not only the 10 sacks, but their linebacker was suspended for the first half, and they still came away and got that done. And John Mateer deserves a shout out. The guy who's replacing Jackson Arnold at quarterback now is the full-time quarterback for Oklahoma. Good performance, led a game-winning drive, capped off with running it in for the go-ahead touchdown with under 5 minutes left. Shout out John Mateer for that.
Yeah.
Shout out Indiana. Not only did you beat what is supposed to be a very good Illinois team, and what was a very good Illinois team last year and is a good program, but 9 touchdowns, 63 points on a Big Ten team. That was incredible. What
Illinois
a performance.
should have never showed up. Never showed up.
Well, they really did by what we saw. Fernando Mendoza, tremendous, great performance. And shout out Arizona State, a walk-off field goal to beat the Baylor Bears in a big-time Big 12 matchup. That was huge. Outstanding job by Arizona State to pull out that win. Awesome game. Great performance. That game was a little bit overshadowed because there were some bigger matchups in that slot in prime time. But that was the game that was actually good and that people should have been paying attention to and keeping an eye on. So shout out Arizona State. Nelson, what you got?
Well, you already took a couple off my table, so let me go ahead and start with. I want to shout out to Michigan Wolverines going into Nebraska, of all places, especially Michigan. You guys had a heck of a game, loved it. Your running game was on point this time. Your OC had a great game plan. All your running backs contributed with 3 touchdowns, so give big shout out to that running back room. Nebraska, what is up with your defense? I'm calling you guys out, man. 86 on the ground. That is embarrassing. That is not Nebraska at all football. Heck no. And I also got to give a shout out to...
Can I piggyback on that?
Go ahead.
And Michigan did that without their head coach. So got to give them extra credit for that. Add to the shout-out. That running back Haynes, who transferred from Alabama for Michigan, is an absolute stud. What a performance he had.
A stud.
And Michigan, that's what they're known for, is running the ball like that. And the one thing Sherrod Moore does do well is running the ball, and he wasn't even the coach. So that just goes to tell you what he's put in place and what they're doing. So I'll piggyback on that one. Good call, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a good win for Michigan to hopefully continue their momentum into the Big Ten Conference play. And then I know we don't give shout-outs normally, but hey, I mean, this guy for Nebraska, especially on the losing side, again, he still did some work for Nebraska, so I got to give it to him. Ja'Cory Barney Jr., how about that? 6 for 120 and 2 TDs. Well done, young man. Now, I do also want to pivot to some of these other games as well that he did not get to. Oregon State, the Civil War. This was a absolute cremation of the Oregon State Beavers. Holy smokes.
Yeah, there was nothing civil on Oregon's side.
No, not at all. Dante Moore, 21 for 31, 305 yards, 4 TDs, all to 4 different receivers. What a great game. What a great game by Oregon. And they got a spicy matchup coming. Oregon at Penn State. Ooh, that's going to be spicy.
Can I piggyback on that one as well?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
We might have to double down on this a week from now, but can we call out the scheduling, which I know we've done in the past, but I'm not talking about the blowouts we're seeing at this point in time, even though Florida State, come on, how many cupcakes do you have to schedule? Texas, you too. But, that aside, why did we schedule on the same day in the same time slot, both at 7:30, one on NBC, one on ABC? You've got Oregon at Penn State at 7:30 on NBC, and Georgia and Alabama at 7:30 on ABC. Why do we have those two games same day, same time? Those are like I would make an argument those are the two biggest games of the year. Definitely two top 10 games this season. At least in terms of going into the season and what we expect. Those both rank in the top 10 games of the year expectation-wise.
Absolutely.
Why do we have them going on at the same time? That is a massive disappointment. I mean, we need to do better with that. Sorry, Nelson.
Yeah, I agree. The Oregon and Penn State, that should be the mid-afternoon, and then you should finish off SEC at night.
Well, I like that thing in prime time because I always love the whiteout in Happy Valley for Penn State. So you want them in prime time for the whiteout. We want that. But Alabama and Georgia have to be in prime time, so just have them different weeks. Don't have them the same day. But if we're going to have one at 3:30, I'd go SEC 3:30 and ABC.
Hey, maybe the NCAA thinks, hey, we all have two TVs side by side like some of us do, right? I'm not saying me. I'm just saying like some of us do.
I want to be able to watch both.
But I digress. But let's move on to, I want to give another shout out again. I talked about him again last week. We'll talk about him again. Ole Miss and Tulane. Shout out to Trinidad Chambliss.
Absolutely.
Once again.
A little bit of easier competition this time around, but great
But still, I mean, if you are as good as you are and as good as the QB room is for Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, my God. 307 yards, 2 TDs through the air. Also, 14 for 112 on the ground. This guy... Listen, as once they pass Austin Simmons off and he maybe gets to the NFL, they are in good hands with Trinidad Chambliss, it looks like, because he is going to be the next big star coming in the SEC. He looks like it because that boy's got some skill. Love that. I want to give a shout-out to Kansas as well. Jalen Daniels, I get it. He may not have had the best quarterback passing game, but he had 3 touchdowns through the air. LaShawn Williams, oh my goodness, he had 15 for 129 on the ground with the big 62-yard rushing touchdown in the fourth quarter. My God, does Kansas look good in the Big 12? They
took it to a banged-up West Virginia team, which but hey, that's a conference win. They looked really good. I agree. I was watching a good amount of that game. Looked great.
This is coming up W winning against Pittsburgh last week. So, hey, listen, Stu. I mean, that's an emotional high. They're coming into your house. You gotta shut them out, and that's exactly what they did.
They took it.
And now I want to also give a shout out to Miami. Miami defense once again. This defense is just amazing week after week. I mean, did we not see Jason Taylor on the sideline? He was pumped, hyped with that defensive line. They were just making Lagway just look like he was chasing ghosts. He didn't know where they were coming from. He had some errant passes. And again, just Lagway did not perform well. That offense did not perform well. But big win for Miami.
Well,
climbing up the ranks.
As good as Florida's defense may be, Miami's offense did not look great. Just in terms of their execution, they didn't look great. Not to take credit away from Florida's defense, but Miami's offense did not look great.
No, they did not look great, but we saw.
But you're right, the defense.
A defense doing that to an SEC powerhouse who we thought was going to come into this year. Well, that didn't turn out.
Either way, it's an SEC team. Once upon a time, big powers in a big rivalry game. That's 2 years in a row Miami's taken to. Remember, they went to the Swamp in Gainesville and took it to Florida badly in the opener last year. So Miami has their number, and they don't play that often. So that's tough for Florida. You got to sit on that for a while.
Exactly, and right now Miami looks like to be the best school in Florida. So, hey, give it up to Miami, and they're number 2 ranked in the country now so far. So, yeah, those are my call-outs and shout-outs. Unless you got anything else to add, Chris, that's all for me.
You know what? Unrelated to college football, we'll give one more shout-out. Shout-out Asia Wilson, 3rd Defense Player of the Year award, record-setting 4th MVP award. We'll give a shout-out to Asia Wilson. Absolutely. Yeah, I know the Aces are now in the semifinals. They did lose yesterday, but shout-out Asia Wilson. I mean, what a career she's putting together and having. And maybe one of these days we might have to start having a GOAT conversation, maybe when her career's over, which many, many years from now we hope, but maybe. I mean, maybe she's getting up there. She's something special. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on to some NFL. Let's get to Sunday. So let's get into our Red Zone review, talking about the Sunday afternoon slate of games.
Let's get at it.
The Cleveland Browns came back from a 10-0 deficit and defeated the Green Bay Packers 13-10. Go ahead, Nelson. What are your takeaways?
So this game was just a defensive bout. We literally do see what Cleveland has done to most teams that have an average offensive line. They just had Jordan Love in shambles. He could not scramble out of the pocket. He was getting harassed all day. I mean, this was truly a defensive bout. Even the Green Bay Packers, the same thing against, the Cleveland Browns. It didn't come until what was a microcosm, and we'll touch base on later on some of these other games. Special teams fiasco at the very end. After Jordan Love did, I will make a remark. Jordan Love did on the previous series beforehand. Jordan Love threw a bad interception, gave Cleveland a chance. They end up scoring, and then now they have the opportunity to win the game. They march down the field, get within field goal range.
You mean Green Bay had a chance? Green Bay had a chance to win the game.
Yeah, okay. Green Bay. Yeah,
Jordan Love had a chance. Jordan Love had a chance for redemption.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they march down. Cleveland stops them with a field goal block. That was unexpected. And then Cleveland comes after making a couple of, just moving down the field after a couple plays. And exactly. And then all you see is Cleveland wins at the gun. No one saw this coming. Nobody in their mind, everyone who wants Survivor pick had Green Bay. I think this was the most Survivor pick of the weekend. And yet Cleveland Brown didn't care. That defense came up to play. They held Green Bay, I think, to less than 250 yards total.
Did Jordan Love get sacked 5 times, was it? Was it 5 sacks?
It was a beatdown.
It easily could have been more. That defensive front for Cleveland with Myles Garrett and friends is very impressive. Mason Graham is a top 10 pick, right, that they have.
Absolutely. And Cleveland's walking out of this like, damn it, if we just have a legitimate quarterback and we got this kind of defense,
Well, Joe
why
Flacco
couldn't
didn't play
we?
poorly. Joe Flacco didn't play poorly.
No, but what I mean
think
is
you're more
like, hey,
thinking if we weren't paying Deshaun Watson so much money to miss the season. I think that's where it's at. I think that's where their mentality is. Because they have some guys.
Maybe.
They've got some guys.
No, they got some talent. Talent. But either way, Cleveland brought the upset. I mean, heck. I mean, how can you do it better than having a game-winning field goal at the very end, right, Chris? Any thoughts?
I mean, absolutely. Listen, they weren't just down 10-0. They were down 10-0 with minutes remaining. I think there were only 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and they finally just got on the board and kicked a field goal. I mean, it took them that long just to get points, and somehow that made it a one-possession game. But, I mean, still, the Packers had the ball. And I'm sitting there watching. It's funny when the witching hour. Shout out Scott Hansen for that. When the witching hour started, we had 9 games in the 1 o'clock window. You're looking at it, and there's only 3 games that were currently one possession games. That's only a third of the games that were going on. It's like, this is going to be a disappointing witching hour. It happens. It is what it is. Yeah. Because that game you're looking at, it's 10-0, and you're just thinking the Packers defense is dominating the Browns offense, and then. Once they got the field goal, it's like, okay, maybe the Browns defense can get a stop and we can at least have some late game drama. The Packers defense has to come with the stop to hold on and get the win. It could be interesting. It has to be noted, the Packers offense is down multiple offensive linemen, multiple of their top wide receivers, maybe even their top 2 wide receivers. I mean, that is a beat-up offense in bad shape. So the Browns defense gets the stop, which credit to them for, but I don't think anybody expected the stop to be, as you mentioned, a Jordan Love interception, turned into a rookie running back, Quinshon Judkins touchdown run, their first touchdown of the game to tie it. And then it's, okay, well, at least now we'll get some drama. The Packers have to go down and kick a game-winning field goal. I think we saw that coming. I did. I was like, Jordan Love's going to get his redemption, drive him down. They line up to kick the field goal. I mean, you think last year when the Chiefs beat the Broncos with the blocked field goal, it was so stunning. You just couldn't believe that happened when the Broncos were lining up for a game-winning field goal attempt at Arrowhead in Kansas City, and the Chiefs blocked it to win the game. Little did we know, apparently field goal protection program units in the NFL are brutally bad. Special teams, we talk about it as the other unit, the third unit in football. Man, the NFL wanted it to be a bigger part. Oh my goodness, is it a bigger part of the league now?
They got it.
Have been throughout the season so far, and we'll see how that continues as we go. Plenty of football left. But yeah, I mean, you're not kidding, Nelson. They blocked the field goal. I lost it. And then not only that, I couldn't believe the Browns offense that had done nothing all game. Field goal, touchdown, and they drive down and kick the field goal as time expired. The dog park in Cleveland was going wild. Those fans were out of their minds. It was awesome.
It's like if they won the Super Bowl. They were literally going.
It was awesome. Big time performance. Congratulations, Cleveland, for that one. The Indianapolis Colts went to Nashville and put it on the Tennessee Titans, 41-20. Your takeaways?
Indianapolis Colts just continue to stay red hot. They came into Tennessee. They came in on Nissan Field, and boy, did they not let off the pedal. Jonathan Taylor had a huge game, hat trick of touchdowns. My goodness, I mean, so far he might be the best defensive player in the NFL so far. The way he's playing. Daniel Jones, he had himself a heck of a game too. No interceptions, no turning the ball over, made the plays when he needed to. Had a nice little throw to Michael Pittman. Pittman reaching into the end zone. It was just a great game overall. Yep, it was just a great game overall by the Indianapolis Colts. Tennessee, Cam Ward, you're still growing pains, young man. The first possession you had, that was a lame duck throw with the interception, a pick six. Come on, man. You got to be better than that. But besides this, Tennessee wasn't much of a fight to the Colts. The score was what it was, as Chris said, 41-20. Indianapolis continues to stay hot, and they look to be the best in the AFC South so far. So I don't know what your thoughts on this.
When you win a game on the road by more points than your opponent scored, and you win by 3 touchdowns, Kenny Moore, as you mentioned, set the tone early. The veteran, former Pro Bowl cornerback with a pick six right off the bat, pretty much. I think it was the first touchdown we saw of the day.
Yep, it was.
And Jonathan Taylor on those touchdown runs simply could not be tackled. I mean, that was like Marshawn Lynch. Just beast mode. He could not be tackled. He was breaking so many tackles. And, I mean, he was making moves, spins, and jukes, and power to break them. It was extremely impressive. What a performance from him. Outstanding from the Colts. I mean, that was great stuff to see. So, just dominant.
Jonathan Taylor reminds me of, especially in this game, he reminded me like a snack-sized version of Marshall Faulk. I'm not even kidding you. The way he was able just to slither, especially around tackles, do, as you said, kind of be shifty, spinny. Like, we saw that with him with the St. Louis Rams, and I mean, we're getting this out of Jonathan Taylor, and it's not like he's past his prime. Taylor is still within his peak. So, I mean, hey, I mean, at the rate that he's going, yeah, Jonathan Taylor might be the best running back in the league. I mean, halfway through the year when we get down to that point. He literally might be.
I don't think I'm with that comp. Jonathan Taylor, obviously, Wisconsin back. He's really more of a pure power back. We see some shiftiness and looseness from him, as we both just mentioned. But Marshall Faulk is one of the most elusive backs in NFL history, and he was a tremendous rusher and receiver. Now, you're forgetting, though, you made that comp. You talked about Marshall Faulk at the St. Louis Rams, which is the very best version of him we saw, of course, in that Mike Martz offense. But Marshall Faulk's first 4 seasons, when he was an absolute superstar, came with the Indianapolis Colts. So,
I did say snack-size version. I did say bite-size, not like the whole thing.
And I understand, how amazing is the history of the running back position for that Colts franchise, both in Baltimore and in Indianapolis?
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. All the Hall of Famers they've had, and now Jonathan Taylor's the latest great back for them. I mean, it's remarkable what they've done. It's about Lenny Moore, Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk, Edgerrin James.
Joseph Adai.
That's
He's
incredible.
Not a great, but
you
he
could
fit
even
well
mention
in the
him. He
system.
made a Pro Bowl in his second season. I mean,
Yep, I agree.
wow. It's so impressive. The Minnesota Vikings beat the Cincinnati Bengals 48-10 in a battle of backup quarterbacks. Joe Burrow out, Jake Browning starting, J.J. McCarthy out, Carson Wentz starting, Aaron Jones out for the Minnesota Vikings as well, Jordan Mason starting. The talk coming into the game was about those 2 former national champion LSU teammate wide receivers, Jamar Chase for the Bengals, Justin Jefferson for the Vikings, the 2 best wide receivers in the league, catching passes for backup quarterbacks. Nelson, what were your takeaways on what the story wound up being?
This was an absolute domination by the Minnesota Vikings on every facet of the game. And to also throw a cherry on top of it too, it seemed like the receivers, the running backs, everybody who touched the ball for the Cincinnati Bengals had butter or oil, something on their gloves or hands. They were just coughing up the ball, fumbling the ball. It was at will. The fantasy group chat that I'm in, they were crying. They couldn't believe what was going on.
Every possession,
it was
fumble. You don't see that happen.
Insanity.
It was amazing.
Like, I've never seen something like this from an absolute implosion, I think, in a very long time. Now, granted, we still got to be give credit.
We actually saw it in one other game, which we'll come to in a moment here. So that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, we got a double special with that.
Yeah.
But yes, the Minnesota defense, 5 takeaways in this game. Unbelievable job. Carson Wentz, a very good, noble job that you did coming into this game. You had 2 touchdowns through the air. Excellent job by your standards, the backup quarterback. But I cannot give credit at all to anything with Cincinnati. This was just one of those games where they say the coaches take the tape and they throw it away. There is nothing you learn from this game at all.
Well, except Jake Browning looks really bad. He looks really bad.
I mean, he did. He did. But again, this is the tape. You just throw it away. If anything I get out of this game, this is the positive side for at least Minnesota going in. You got your left tackle back, Darisaw. You got Harrison back, your safety. This did provide some stability. We noted that in the game. So hopefully with this and also getting Carson Wentz, you were hoping with now that especially it is rest assured that now hopefully this will provide stability now with J.J. McCarthy being out for the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you're able to steady the ship, still be in contention in your own division, and that's the only positivity side to this big game. So that's my take, Chris. What do you have for this?
Well, we need to mention Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, you talked about all these turnovers. They all came in the first half. He was unbelievable. He had a pick 6, and it was an impressive pick 6. And then he turned around and forced a fumble, covered it, and scooped and scored. Forced fumble recovery, and a touchdown. When was the last time we saw a player do all of that in one game? He did it in the first half. I mean, he was unbelievable. Pro Football Focus gave him a grade for the game of 99.9. He's the first player ever to receive that rating from Pro Football Focus.
You know what that sounds like?
Game.
That sounds like the NFL gods are playing Madden mode, and he was on God level. I'm not kidding.
And then, as you said, they came back the next 2 possessions to close the half and forced 2 more fumbles.
It was insane.
3 in a row. I mean, amazing. I don't know his actual stats, and obviously there were 9 games going on, so I only saw so much. But it looked to me like T.J. Hawkinson had a good game, so I'll mention him.
Oh, yes, he did.
Well as
T.J. Hawkinson, I think he had over 50 yards, and he had a great game.
I know he had a touchdown.
Wentz had a report. Yeah, Wentz loves him tight ends. Anybody who is You know,
Zach Ertz?
fantasy guys that are looking for some, info, Wentz loves tight ends.
Well, TJ Hawkinson is a really good tight end.
Or even his backup. Hey, take the backup too, because he might
I'll throw one more thing in there. It'll be a quick one. Carson Wentz in his second season obviously got hurt, suffered a season-ending injury, and watched a veteran former Pro Bowl quarterback take over for him and go on to win the Super Bowl. Now Carson Wentz is that veteran quarterback coming in for a quarterback technically in his second season and taking over after he got hurt. This is Carson Wentz's sixth team in 6 years. He has turned into the most journeyman quarterback of all time, outside of maybe what was his name that was just on the Browns? He spent training camp with the Browns. I think he's played for almost every team in the league at this point in time. Carson Wentz has started for each of those teams over the past 6 years. So I just wanted to throw that out there and kind of mention that.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. Jefferson also loved the fact that he was getting actually thrown to too in this game. He was actually happy for once. He had 7 catches, over 70 yards. So yeah, this Minnesota offense, as you stated, I think they're going to benefit off having a veteran quarterback come in, and maybe, like I said, this will keep the ship straight going forward for them.
The Pittsburgh Steelers went to Foxborough and beat the New England Patriots 21-14. Your takeaways?
This was a game that if anybody was watching, especially if you're a Patriots fan, you have to be pissed off that you guys lost this game, and it was a matter of key sequences in this game where you either fumbled the ball or your quarterback decided to throw a lousy pick into the end zone, and the way that you dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers in a way where you outgained them well over 150 yards. And it's still, how in the heck did we lose this game? From start to finish, we got to give credit to the Steelers, first of all. They still have 5 takeaways on defense. They were active. They were able to make fumbles. Stevenson was coughing up the ball for the Patriots. You guys did pick off, also Drake May again a handful of times. But still, how do the Patriots lose this game? May and company were moving up and down the field. They were making plays, but they were stubbing their toe. And I could totally tell just by the press conference after the fact, Vrabel was like, "Man, we really let this one slip." It was just, honestly, if you were looking at the box score was not in any reference to at all what the score was. But hey, the Steelers went in, they got the dub. They barely got the dub, but if I'm even a Steelers fan, because I have a couple of Steelers fans themselves, they're not confident that this is a 2-1 team. They should have lost this game, truthfully. I don't know if you got any feedback, but that's mine so far.
Drake May, just the one interception, just to put that out there, not a handful of them. He did, on the opening drive, Drake May threw, I just checked, one interception. Drake May threw what should have been an interception that was dropped, but then the Patriots fumbled the ball anyway and turned it over anyway. The Steelers came out and started red hot on offense. Aaron Rodgers got off to a scorching hot start and was tremendous. They scored a couple of touchdowns. They looked really good. Credit has to be given to the Patriots and Drake May as well for battling back, but you're absolutely right, Nelson. First of all, credit to the Steelers, like you said, for the 5 takeaways. How impressive was that, getting the interception and all of the forced fumbles and recovering those, turnover on downs at the end to win the game. It was unbelievable what they were doing. On the interception in the end zone, as horrible of a play, disaster of play as that was for the Patriots to end the first half, what a play by Cam Hayward to get up and tip the ball. He is such a great player.
Oh, yeah.
Tipped that ball. And that interception, Drake May simply didn't see him, and you can't blame him. Even a veteran quarterback, I don't care who it is, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, and Rodgers, I don't care. They'll come on, that defense back coming underneath and picking that ball off, that was an outstanding play. But they come back for the opening drive of the second half, and Ramondre Stevenson fumbles the ball on the goal line, and the Steelers recover that. It was just a disaster. They come back, and Antonio Gibson fumbles the ball. Ramondre Stevenson's not in because he fumbled, so Antonio Gibson says, okay, I'll just fumble instead. It was a disaster, and then they of course, get stopped again. First Drake May had the fumble, which you could actually see that one coming. T.J. Watt at that point in time was coming after Drake May, and he got him, forced the fumble. They recovered it. The Patriots in all these drives were moving the football. You look at the yardage. It started off, the Steelers were dominating. They were racking up yards. They were moving the ball, scored a couple touchdowns. The Patriots couldn't do anything on offense. And the game flipped, and the Patriots just dominated the game. You're right. If you're looking at that, you're sitting there as Patriots. If we don't turn the ball over, we dominated this game. We should have won this game. This is an inexplicable loss. But for the Steelers, credit to that defense, man. They made those plays outstanding. Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt just wreaked havoc on that Patriots offensive line. They could not stop those guys. And then after that fumble, the Patriots defense was getting it done. They were stopping them for the most part. They finally got the game tied, but then Aaron Rodgers figured it out again, and the Steelers offense, after struggling all game after the hot start, finally got it going, and the game-winning touchdown pass to Calvin Austin. By the way, one of the other touchdowns they scored earlier, DK Metcalf absolutely mossed his man. Great catch. I really think it's the only big play he had in the game, but, I mean, what a play it was. And then, the Patriots couldn't get it done at the end. Steelers defense stood up again. No, you're absolutely right in your points on this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Steelers, I mean, this has been one of those, again, versions of the team where it's like, well, I mean, are we looking again where, Tomlin is going to keep this team maybe, 9-8, still on a, winning record, and it's like we're going to get inconsistency everywhere. Sometimes the offense might show up. Sometimes the defense might show up, clearly the way we saw it the last couple of games. But at least one thing is to be true. At least there's one consistent thing, and I know you can agree with me on this. At least Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf are connecting, because that was one of the biggest questions coming in so far.
In the red zone.
So at least they're connecting, yeah.
That interception Rodgers threw, though, was a bad interception.
That was a boneheaded interception by Rodgers, no question.
But you got to say for the Steelers, this is this prototypical Steelers win. I mean, the Chris Collinsworth quote from last year, a couple years ago, whatever it was, you can't kill the Steelers. I mean, we see this from them so often. They just find a way to win games. They just find a way to win.
Yep.
This is what they do.
Yep.
Mike Tomlin deserves credit for that.
Yep.
The Philadelphia Eagles erased a 26-7 19-point deficit and won 33-26. 26 unanswered points to close it out. They only surrendered 26 points. Nelson?
So this will turn out to be, if it hasn't already, and I got a feeling it will, this will turn out to be one of the best games of the year. Honestly.
That's saying something with what we've seen, but I am in agreement.
Yeah, I mean, at first we thought that the LA Rams were not going to let the Philadelphia Eagles win this game. They were in control from quarters 1 all the way through 3, halfway through 3, I'll be precise.
The Eagles had the early touchdown and the lead early, but after that, you're absolutely right. They were dominating.
Yeah. We saw a great running game by the LA Rams. Kyron Williams finally showing up. We saw Nakua just go ham on that secondary the majority of this game. It was just unbelievable. Stafford, he had an okay game. I mean, still, he had a couple of TDs through the air. But no, you got to give credit to Philly. They responded. I believe it was 20-something to, I think, 7 at some point in the third quarter. And after, this is the series after when the Rams did end up scoring a field goal to, I think, make it 23-7, if I can recall correctly, or 22-7. Jalen Hurts got obliterated. He got depleted. I don't know if you remember that hit.
Yeah, so Lane Johnson got hurt and left the game, and they put in the right tackle, and that happened, and then they actually put in a different right tackle. They used all of their offensive linemen in this game trying to figure that out.
Yeah, but
we know how good Lane Johnson is. Hall of Famer.
Yes, and we know the benefit for Lane Johnson. He'll be back next week, apparently. It's just a stinger, so he'll be back, which is a good thing for Philly. But either way, Jalen Hurts and company, boy, did they grind out those last 2 quarters. We saw a resurgence in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Hurts was throwing the ball all around the schoolyard. Touchdown to Goddard. Touchdown to Slim Reaper. I mean, he was just slinging it around the park. And they were coming back. And finally, in the fourth quarter, you know this better than I. I mean, hey, we got to remember what happened earlier, too, in the game. Philly did have 1 blocked field goal, right? What happens at the end? They go up. It's only by 1. They fail on the 2-point conversion. We think, okay, Matthew Stafford and company are going to come marching down, which they did. Nakua just went, give me the ball and let me take it to the promised
almost every play on that drive.
Seriously. And they got to the point where they're about to kick the game-winning field goal. I had this I'll tell you exactly what happened. I'm driving back from the game, and I'm literally saying to myself, I think they're about to block this field goal. Subsequently, I think it's going to happen. And what happens? It is absolute hysteria at the link. They blocked the field goal. And boy, do you see
Jordan Davis.
He is running down to the end zone.
And he was moving. It was awesome. I was losing my mind. I was so excited.
He was going
awesome.
19 miles an hour
they did say 18 miles
into
an hour,
the end zone. It was insanity at the link. And I'm going crazy, too.
And Nelson, the Eagles were 3.5-point favorites. They were up by 1. That had them win by 7. They covered with that play.
Unbelievable.
That was awesome.
This was a special teams weekend in the NFL unlike no other.
The Rams to have 2 field goals blocked can't happen.
In the game. in the game.
Yeah, can't happen. I mean,
But
Sean
yeah, you got
McVay,
anything else on the game?
Coach, I mean,
You got anything else on the game? Because, man, it was just a crazy game.
yeah,
honestly.
I mean, first of all, Saquon Barkley in 2 games against the Rams last year, including the playoff game, a lot of which was played in the snow, ran for, 450 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns in the Rams total between those 2 games. I mean, he was unbelievable the way he dominated them. You don't see a running back do that to a single opponent over the course of 2 games in a season ever, really.
Yeah.
They held him. Their game plan coming in because of that was we're going to load up the box and shut him down. They held him under 50 yards. They did the job. But then Jalen Hurts was able to run some. He was able to throw. A.J. Brown's getting one-on-one coverage, and he ate those defenders alive. He was just muscling the ball away from them. He's just winning at the point of attack, and then they couldn't tackle him. He had a monster game, and that allowed Devontae Smith to get favorable matchups and coverages, and he was able to exploit those, especially at the end. He got going and had the game-winning touchdown on a 4th down for the lead. So dramatic. And as you said, they failed the 2-point conversion. I mean, it's hysteria. They were so frustrated that they were in a 4th down. Then they get the touchdown, and they're going nuts because you know the Eagles fans. They're going insane. And then they fail the 2-point conversion, and you just feel this sense of eeriness fall over the stadium. The Rams, Puka Nacua, as you said, brings them down. I mean, when that moment with the field goals blocked, that whole thing was crazy. It was just crazy. Brutal loss for the Rams to blow a 26-7 lead, have 2 field goals blocked, to lose like that at the end. It was crazy. Credit to the Eagles, though. I mean, they can beat you in so many ways. You take away Saquon Barkley, okay, fine. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith will beat you. We will get this done, and the defense will make the plays down the stretch. It was incredible. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the New York Jets 29-27. Your takeaways?
My God, this was another crazy game. This could be up there for one of the games of the week.
And it was largely kind of being ignored because all that other stuff was going on. And this was a blowout for a while, just like the Rams and Eagles. Another crazy comeback with the blocked field goal.
The only negative I have about this game is that I was coming back from Northwest Stadium, and if I can only imagine you, Chris, you're probably watching this on the witching hour, and you are probably going absolutely stupid just watching that everything. But I'll give my take. We saw the Philly and LA Rams again. This was just the dessert to all that stuff too. Yeah. I mean, holy smokes! Tampa Bay controlling the majority of the game. We thought the New York Jets were left for dead, and then in the 4th quarter, it's like, where did Tyrod Taylor and company come from? Where did this come from? It's like they woke up like the Walking Dead, and they were just coming and just hunting down this defense. Now, granted, I will say a big loss, Mike Evans.
Hopefully, it's not too bad of an injury. Got hurt in the second half. Hamstring injury did not. That
did not help. That did not help the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Yeah, really hurt their offense and helped to fuel that comeback by the Jets.
Yes.
But especially since they're already, banged up on offense, especially Tristan Wirfs, the first-team All-Pro left tackle is out. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yes, but still, I mean, you got to give credit. New York Jets, they were marching down. They had 2 quick touchdowns. And then, I mean, this was just, a couple of minutes left. I mean, 4 minutes or so left. And we're thinking, okay, Tampa Bay, they're about to extend this lead. And next thing you know, it's going to be a full-blown touchdown. Oh, what did we see? It was just somebody like with a jetpack. I can't remember his name, so if you can say this
Will McDonald the fourth.
I mean, like a jetpack. He jumped over the line, and all you see, both hands block it, and then he recovers the ball and takes it to the end zone.
And he was flying. He ran fast.
It was utmost hysteria, and we saw, oh my God, you got to love him, honestly. We saw the head coach for the New Year's Jets.
Aaron Glenn.
He was loving it.
So excited, man. It was awesome.
Oh, my God. Aaron Glenn, I mean, you got to love it. You got to love it from the Jets standpoint. But then I said to myself, and I'm sure you did too, hey, you're leaving a minute 30x on the clock. You're leaving too much time to Baker Mayfield. And what is Baker Mayfield to the NFL? He is just a baller, throwing dimes to Ibuka. Oh, my God. That one
how
catch,
good was Emeka?
I don't know how that wasn't a catch. That was a catch.
Thank you. That was a catch.
I don't know how the ref.
He had control.
That was a catch.
Down. They reviewed it and somehow still said it wasn't a catch. I mean, no sense. Obviously, they got it done anyway, but he caught that ball. He should have had a monster game with that catch included. But the catches he was making were spectacular. I mean, to get the Bucs going early on with one-handed catch he had along the sideline before the Mike Evans touchdown. Whew.
Unbelievable. That was a heck of a drive in combination with Baker Mayfield making some excellent throws and the OC throwing all these screen passes to Bucky Irvin and company.
Yep.
And also you had another screen pass too, also to Sterling Shepard. So it was incredible.
That was a great
Just
play.
an unbelievable. March it down and another game-winning field goal at the
Which
gun.
was not blocked.
Unbelievable game. And by the way,
it really was. Classic game. Outstanding game.
I want to give 2 footnotes to this game.
Yeah.
First footnote. I love their jerseys. I get it. Don't make it a mainstream jersey.
Those
but
are the original Bucs jerseys from their inaugural season in '76. This is their 50th season.
I hope they use them a little more often because I loved it. I love their jerseys.
So,
and a second,
can I ask you a question before you get to your second footnote?
Sure.
Are you one of those people who this is a common thing. A lot of people with superstition don't want teams to wear jerseys that they lost in. Are you one of those people? Because that's from the Bucs inaugural season, and their inaugural season wearing those creamsicle jerseys, they went 0-14.
I'm not about that.
Okay. I don't care either. The jersey looks good, wear them, and I agree with you. I thought they were awesome. By the way, I thought the Browns jerseys it's hard to have a cool looking jersey when you're the Browns, but I liked those. I did. Okay, we're on the same page of this. I thought they were awesome. By the Browns standards, I thought they were awesome.
My second footnote to this game, and I know you just harped on it too, this offense is only going to get better because next week, it's most likely it's already been reported. Tristan Wirth is coming back, and so is Godwin.
Really?
That's another weapon to Baker Mayfield.
They're both going to be back?
They're expected to be back by next week.
I thought Chris Godwin was on PUP and had to miss at least the first 4 games.
Okay. No.
So those are huge boosts for the Bucs. And Jalen McMillan played yesterday, right?
Okay, so I'll take that back.
He played, right?
When you come up PUP, I think you have to still practice a couple of days before. So we might have to look at that. He might be available for the next game if they activate him and they're able to have him practice since Wednesday.
It's not just going to be getting those guys back, though. We hope that they look like the guys they've been. They play at a good level.
The word's still at left tackle, as you stated.
If he's playing at a first-team All-Pro level and if Chris Godwin's playing at a Pro Bowl level, I mean... And
look out, Tampa Bay.
They have the Eagles.
And that's going to be the game of the week if they can get him back. Because Bowles...
They crushed the Eagles last year with A.J. Brown out.
Bowles has always give the Eagles problems. But yeah, any takes on the game besides what I stated?
Look, the game started off as a battle of field goals. The Jets were up 3-0. They were up 6-3. Only for the Bucs to reel off 20 unanswered points and take full control of the game. They were dominating, and it was impressive. I mean... I mentioned it. Emeka Buka had the tremendous one-hitter grab along the sidelines to get them going. Mike Evans capped off the drive with a touchdown. Man, when you get in the red zone, Mike Evans is somehow always open for a touchdown. It's amazing.
He's just a freak. A freak.
Antoine Winfield Jr. forced a fumble. Vita Vea recovered it. That set up another score. They had the pick six to end the half. The one bad play Tyrod Taylor really had in the game. But we have to mention Justin Fields was out with a concussion. You have to wonder, not to take away from Tyrod Taylor, because outside the pick six, he played pretty well. But you have to wonder if Justin Fields plays. I mean, this is a tough loss for the Jets. That's a tough one to swallow. I mean, they really could have won that game, maybe with Justin Fields. Who knows? But yeah, you talked about the Jets came back. I mean, we were in the fourth quarter. There wasn't that much time left, and all of a sudden the Jets offense just got going. Tyrod Taylor was a couple touchdown passes, and just like that, they're in this thing. But the Bucs managed to kick a field goal to kind of keep the Jets at bay during that run. But the Jets just kept coming. They're getting touchdowns, and they're in the game. And then the blocks field goal, the mayhem that ensued, and you talked about the game-winning drive. I mean, this was an unbelievable football game of runs, just crazy. And then the Mike Evans injury is very unfortunate. I would love, as you said, to see the Buccaneers be fully healthy, and not just their guys playing, but playing at the high level we're used to seeing them at, truly fully healthy. That would be awesome to see. The Washington Commanders beat the Las Vegas Raiders 41-24. Your takeaways?
So the Commanders versus Las Vegas Raiders. This was a Mariota revenge game. Mariota, the whole offense, from special teams to defense, everyone contributed very well. We saw a couple of key special teams moments in this game. Deebo Samuel had an excellent kickoff return to start the game off. Mariota had a touchdown. And then we also did see a big play from Lane. He was able to do a punt return touchdown for, I believe it was 90 yards, But overall, the Las Vegas Raiders, it didn't appear that they came to show up. Again, they just played Monday Night Football against the Chargers. They looked tired. They didn't start off with good success, but we do got to give a special shout out to Trey Tucker. 3 touchdowns in this game, and he was all over the field. He was the bright spot for the Las Vegas Raiders, but not a good loss if you're the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, because honestly, the Commanders, they had well over 200 yards rushing on you guys, and ultimately, Las Vegas are sent packing. Commanders, good response. especially getting beat down after the Green Bay Packers showed you out on Thursday Night Football last week. So, if anything, like I did say, good win for the Commanders. Las Vegas, you got a lot to work on. What's your take on the game?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a weird scheduling quirk to have a team that played on Monday night make a long trip across the country and go on the road to play a game against a team who hadn't played since the prior Thursday night. That is strange, but you mentioned it. Jaden Daniels was out. Marcus Mariota started at quarterback. He played well. They're also without Austin Eckler on that offense and Dietrich Wise Jr. on that defense. It has to be mentioned, Trey Tucker for the Raiders had an unbelievable performance that was completely, no one's going to notice, was overshadowed. Yeah, and a monster game all around. He may have been the most impressive performance in the game, but it's completely overshadowed because their defense and special teams was so horrendous for the Raiders. Great performance by the Commanders, other than the missed field goal by Matt Gay, where he just hung it right the whole way. It never came back in. But they looked outstanding, dominant performance. So congratulations to them on the big win. The Carolina Panthers beat the Atlanta Falcons 30-0. Nelson, your takeaways.
To be honest, I don't know what to make of this game. I'll be honest. I'm confused about this game. The score, even for me, has me confused. Yes, it seems like the score in the box score showed that Carolina, at least from 30-0, that they obliterated them. But this was Atlanta also self-destructing. We saw Penix having two dumb interceptions.
He was horrible.
Both were pick sixes. I mean, this was just a bad game by Atlanta. Overall, I don't know where you can even say any good things about Atlanta other than maybe their defense containing, but still you're allowing Bryce Young and company to at least get into the red zone converting. I mean, that's where the tide was won between the two. But either way, I mean, Atlanta it seemed like they were in this game at times, but they were shooting themselves in the foot. That's what it was ultimately. And now we get a little bit of an asterisk where Cousins comes in the game, and now Atlanta's, throwing Cousins in the wind already on the trade block. So, I don't know. What's your take on this game? Because I'm telling you, I can't make anything of this game. It doesn't seem right.
The game was 30-0. Atlanta had a goose egg. An unbelievable performance by the Panthers defense to shut the Falcons out. Michael Penix Jr. was absolutely horrible, as you said. He got benched late, which the game was already over. And Kirk Cousins came in for a bit in garbage time. Bryce Young had a good performance. It was 30-0. There's just not much else to be said. Great win by the Panthers. Very impressive performance. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Houston Texans 17-10. Your takeaways?
If anybody wanted to watch a dud of a game, this was definitely one of them. I mean, no offense to both the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans, but this goes to show that how pitiful Houston was. I mean, because honestly, this is now code red for Houston after this game. This is code red. Something is really wrong. Jacksonville, I mean, they were giving you guys opportunities for Houston to at least make a comeback and win this game at times. We saw again Trevor Lawrence be Trevor Lawrence of old. I mean, he was giving up ball. This wasn't good. Defense. Granted, the defense was living in the backfield for Jacksonville, in Houston's backfield all game long, it seemed. Stroud was under pressure, even though Stroud was able to have a good game with Nico Collins. Nico Collins, again, impressive. 8 for 104 and 1 touchdown through the air.
Which came on a blown coverage, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, but still, I mean, that's a 50-yard touchdown pass. Stroud, you gotta make that count. But still, I mean, even then, Houston still had a chance to drive it at the end and somehow maybe tie up the game, but nope, to no avail. C.J. Stroud throws a duck, and that gets intercepted.
Yep,
and the Jaguars survived this game, and that's just my take on it. It was not a fun game.
Yeah, it was at least a close game. Defensive struggle, great performance by both defenses. I mean, we know the Texans are banged up on offense, and so limited what they were able to do, but impressive win by the Jaguars. The blown coverage, the Jaguars just got so sloppy there for a while. Trevor Lawrence had a poor performance. Both quarterbacks did. They played poorly.
Yeah, not great.
And, they got sloppy there for a while. They blew the coverage a lot. The touchdown from Nico Collins to tie it, but ultimately they were able to come back down the other way and get the touchdown and then get the interception to win it. There's just not a whole lot more to say but that. Good divisional home win for the Jaguars. Do have to mention, the Jaguars had lost 7 consecutive home games to the Houston Texans. So first time in 8 years they've won at home against the Houston Texans. So congratulations, Jacksonville. Big deal. Fans were obviously very happy about that.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Chargers beat the Denver Broncos 23-20.
Well, this was I think this game between them and the Denver Broncos, I think this was the best game in the late window. I really liked how Herbert responded This was a back and forth game. Herbert was sloppy, I'd say, in the first part of this game, but he definitely responded well. We saw again Keenan Allen show up again. He made an unbelievable catch, hanging on. Literally, he's got the ball thrown from Herbert at a bad angle, and he's still able to catch that ball.
Incredible throw, but even better catch.
I mean, it was just unbelievable response by the LA Chargers, and that defense again for the Chargers. Nice game, holding the Denver Broncos again to a really an average output at best. Still, I mean, this was just an unbelievable performance by both. Everybody was throwing, not haymakers at times, but good throws, good runs. It was a good game between the both. Again, we just saw Herbert and company just make it when it counts. They led the game-winning drive for a field goal. They won it at the gun, and this was, for the first time, two things happened for the LA Chargers, which might give them a boost in confidence going forward. For the first time in 23 years, you're 3-0, which is amazing. And for the first time since 2006, it's the first team in NFL history so far since 2006 to win 3 consecutive divisional games. Impressive, LA Chargers. Impressive. What's your takes on this game?
Yeah, kind of interesting start to the schedule for the Chargers, having to play all 3 divisional opponents in the first 3 games. When you said that stat, which I'll admit a little bit of a random stat, but was that referring to the 2006 Chargers or just any team in 2006? Some team in 2006 did that.
I forget the team, but it was another team for 2000.
Okay, because that 2006 Chargers team, I mean, that's maybe the most disappointing finish to a season in Chargers history. What a team that was.
Yeah.
I digress. Yeah, I mean, listen, huge win to be able to get the win at home for the Chargers. Obviously, this is a big-time divisional win at home, no doubt, but the Denver Broncos have to be sick to their stomach. I mean, first of all, as we mentioned, Khalil Mack's out for the Chargers. Dre Greenlaw was out for the Broncos, but Bo Nix had such a poor performance. He twice had Marvin Mims wide open down the field for touchdowns, and a third time had Cortland Sutton at the end of the game open down the field for a touchdown, and just barely overthrew all 3 of those passes and missed them. He hits those touchdown pass to Keenan Allen from Justin Herbert. Yeah. He has to hit those, and they've got to find a way to win that game. But on the whole, a very entertaining game, great finish. Credit to the Chargers for finding a way to get it done.
I will leave this also, too.
Yeah.
Come on, Hufanga and the rest of that Denver defense. Y'all got to be more disciplined instead of causing some of those dumb penalties that you guys had that led to some of those drives being extended for the Chargers. I mean, come on.
Frustrating loss for the Broncos. I mean, this is a game when they had the better team and should have won comfortably, and instead they found a way to lose. They beat themselves. Yeah.
They did.
The Seattle Seahawks beat the New Orleans Saints 44-13. Your takeaways.
Seattle flew all over the New Orleans Aints.
Yeah.
See, New Orleans, you guys should have not shown up the way you guys played.
I
mean, this was just a beatdown by Seattle. Listen, again, if you're a good team, like we think maybe Seattle can be, then you got to, beat the bad teams, honestly. Sam Darnold, another great game again, 2 TDs through the air, very efficient within his stats also. I think he only had maybe 3 or 4 incompletions. Crazy. Wow. Tyler Horton. This guy continues to impress.
Yeah. Special teams,
that 95-yard kickoff
and then they had a block punt after that or before, whichever way it was.
Yeah, and then he also had a touchdown in the end zone.
Yeah, and I
mean, this guy's a 5th-round draft pick. You gotta give it to the GM for the Seattle Seahawks, man. He always somehow drafts good players. Honest to God, man, he finds the diamonds in the rough. New Orleans, listen, I mean, you guys came with your suitcases and you left empty with anything. Honestly, nothing.
It was ugly.
You guys did have one scoring drive. You guys had one scoring drive. In garbage time, but then you want to throw Tyler Show into the Wolves. I don't know why.
He looks awful.
He looked horrible. He looked uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Seattle they controlled the whole game. It was complete domination. Do you have any thoughts to add?
Nothing to add. It was a complete dominant performance. There's nothing to add to that.
Yeah.
The Chicago Bears beat the Dallas Cowboys 31-14. Your takeaways?
Man, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, it's like, the only saving grace that could be with this game is Dak. I mean, honestly, it's like you guys are suffering so many injuries, yet Dak, before some of the bad injuries, I might say, I mean, he was slinging it out there. I mean, yes, he looked like Brett Favre, in my opinion, just constantly throwing it to where he could. I mean, he was your only bright star of literally your team the whole game, and to the exception of the self-destruction at the very end. And your defense, I don't know where Jerry's comments came from the beginning of the season, stopping the run, but boy, my God,
The run,
your defense is...
you got to cover someone. All four touchdown passes, Nelson. All four touchdown passes.
I was leading.
The receivers were wide open. Wide open.
I was leading to
I'm
that
sorry
point.
to jump the gun. I had to say it. It was embarrassing.
No, I was leading to that because Jerry wanted to stop the run so bad that he forgot about his back end and making sure that it was good, but yet he couldn't. So, Caleb Williams went ham on your defense, 4 touchdowns through the air. That flea flicker looked like it was about to be a complete disaster play, but somehow it still worked.
Hey, man, that rookie, Luther Burden III out of Missouri, was so open that they couldn't blow it.
No, Burden, Odunze, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. Yeah. Roma Odunze.
DJ Moore had the one all wide open. Wide open. Where is the coverage? The Cowboys, outside quarterbacks are former first-team All-Pro. Those are interception machines.
I remember there was a still shot, and the Dallas Cowboys, this was going on social media without getting too far ahead, they were literally playing 10 men on defense versus the Chicago Bears. It was just embarrassing from
the slot
the Dallas
quarterback
Cowboys.
And the safeties are horrible. Just horrible.
Yeah, it was just bad. Chicago, if anything else, listen, you got
Ben
what
Johnson
the doctor
was dialing it up. Those play calls were very creative. He did it to him last year with the Lions, with the creative play calling. That's, I guess, what they need to score. But, man, that was impressive on his part. And Caleb Williams.
Just like you said, they needed this to score. And, look, this is what the doctor ordered. Dallas Cowboys coming into Chicago Bears and them getting right on offense. Because, boy, did they need it. But if anything else, y'all do got to get your defense a lot better because Dak was tearing you guys up for the majority of the game up until the very last
Their perennial
bit.
Pro Bowl cornerback and former All-Pro a couple years ago, Jalen Johnson, is missing the entire season. So that's massive. He's their best player on defense.
I get that, but you guys still got to be a little bit better. You're letting Dak just walk up and down the park still. But anyway, you guys got what the doctor ordered. Chicago, you guys were impressive in this game. Now, hopefully you guys can continue and build off of this. Anything on your takes at all on this game?
CeeDee Lamb got hurt, and the Cowboys offense, they were able to kick. They had one field goal at that point. They were able to go down and get another field goal and then come back with a touchdown and two-point conversion to tie it. Unbelievable one-handed touchdown grab by George Pickens. Then later in the game, the offense stalled without CeeDee Lamb. Not expected to be a serious injury, but he is expected to miss games, including against the Packers. He's expected to not play against the Packers on Micah Parsons' return next week. It sounds like he could miss. He's going to miss multiple games, but it could be as many as 4 or 5 or more. We'll see.
Well, they're saying.
We'll
2
obviously
weeks.
see. You never know.
Yeah.
We just know he's going to miss games, and he's going to miss that game.
I got.
But then George Pickens had the drop where the ball was deflected off his hands, was intercepted, and they were driving the ball in position to be able to get points. Killer. And they came back down and turned it over again, and they just couldn't finish drives at the end. It was just awful from the Cowboys.
Yes.
Poor performance,
I
but
agree.
great dominant win by the Chicago Bears.
I agree.
The San Francisco 49ers beat the Arizona Cardinals 16-15. Your takeaways?
You might as well call the San Francisco 49ers the Walking Dead, because at this point, how many injuries can these guys take and still win games? It is unfortunate. We are recording this today, and word is still around the block. We don't know about Nick Bosa's injury, but it didn't look good at all. It
looks serious. Yeah.
It looks serious. So hopefully he's able to come back at some point, but it just didn't look good. And for Arizona, Dennis Green is rolling right now in his grave. This is the one where the Cardinals let the 49ers off the hook.
I get it. Nick Bosa went out, and who knows what happens. They're without Brock Purdy. Mac Jones started quarterback without George Kittle, without Brandon Ayuk. But the Cardinals have to catch the football. The punt. You can't throw the ball in that situation, have an incomplete pass on third down, at least. Time the clock. You can't punt the ball in the end zone for a touchback. They gave the game away. And obviously, James Conner, a devastating injury we saw on the field. Carter's season is over. He can't stay healthy. Heartbreaking for him.
That wasn't pleasant.
But again, that drive, they have drops, and they had to settle for a field goal. They could have maybe gotten a touchdown, and then they just fell apart. They should have won this game. They should have won the game.
They should have won this game fair and square.
Good home win for the 49ers in the division, but
I think the turning point was this game to kind of laminate it was essentially Arizona when they went up with the lead. And they knew that San Francisco came back. They marched down. They got the touchdown as well with Juszczyk on the simple rollout.
Yeah.
The Arizona should have been aggressive from the jump instead of playing conservative like they did and just taking the game because they had the 49ers on their heels. But no, again, let them off the hook. You lost this game, and San Francisco sitting pretty at the top of the NFC West. Honestly, Cardinals, if I'm a fan, I'm pissed. Y'all lost this game.
I guess the only silver lining, just like with the Broncos, is it could be worse. You lost a game on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, just
To a
like the
divisional
Jets,
foe.
you lose a game on the road, worse things can happen. Even in the college game, Auburn losing out Oklahoma, you're frustrated about that one. But when you lose a game on the road to what's expected to be a potential good team, worse things can happen. But I agree with you. I mean, the Cardinals should have won this game, and then they lose James Conner. It was tough.
That was
tough.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
Yep.
Sunday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs went to East Rutherford and beat the New York Giants 22-9. Nelson, what were your takeaways from this game?
So I know you're probably going to have something to say. I know definitely I'm about to go off, so give me a second here. This was a tale of two halves in this game. The first half, Kansas City was doing everything in their power to be like, here, New York, take the game and win it in the first half.
Oh,
I mean,
awful.
the way
I couldn't wait for
the way Mahomes was playing.
He was horrible.
I mean, it was.
He made some unbelievable plays, but his start was so poor, so inaccurate.
I couldn't.
The problem with it,
So
the accuracy.
It was not one, but two behind the line of scrimmage passes. The second
What was
one,
he doing?
Dog, just fall on the ball and don't even try to pick it up and scored the darn touchdown before the end of the half.
Well, then they had the roughing the passer call and George Karlaftis, which was a horrible. What was he doing? Was he thinking gifted the Giants a touchdown? Has to be mentioned. The rookie running back Cam Skattebo was tremendous, but come on.
And
unfortunately, Tyron Tracy got hurt, and he was playing well prior to that, and that forced Cam Skattebo to get even more touches.
It'll
he
be
played very
interesting
well.
to see. Yeah,
I'm not a doctor. I don't want to speculate. It looked like a separated shoulder to me. I could be wrong.
No, they were talking about it on the broadcast that he had a separate shoulder injury to that same shoulder last year, so it could be re-aggravated again this year the way he fell on it. So,
let's hope he's okay.
Prayers to him. Hopefully he comes back and he's able to play for the Giants.
But I couldn't wait for halftime. You're right. That first half.
Yeah, it was a tale of two halves. It was
awful.
a sloppy first half. New York, you guys fumbled the bag. You guys should have stole that game in the first half and won the game, honestly, because Kansas City, they were doing everything in their power to literally just mess up. Constant holding penalties, it was just horrific by Kansas City. And then somehow in the second half, the way we were watching them, it looked like literally Andy Reid must have said so many F-bombs in the halftime to literally wake them up.
Yeah, what did he say at halftime? I mean, they came out different.
Because, listen, I don't know if did y'all see on camera? Because we saw Andy Reid getting in Travis Kelce's face. He was hot. He was hot.
Andy Reid was happy about it. He said it at the halftime interview. He's happy about it.
Yeah. Either way, we saw Mahomes make some unbelievable throws. Again, Thornton showing up big, making some nice catches. I mean, but that was honestly the big kind of what we saw literally in this game that swung the game. Kansas City just made more big plays than the Giants did. And I'll leave it at this point. Daboll, I don't know what's going on. But the way that last drive that Russell Wilson had.
He was horrible. Russell Wilson was
horrible. Something looks off. Really off. Because all the plays looked to be to the outside. Nothing was in the middle to give Russell any window to throw in. And Russell just kept chucking it, out. I don't know what's going on in New York, but it doesn't look good. And Kansas City, y'all survived this really bad game on all facets. And still, now you're 1-2, and maybe you'll dig out of a hole, but still. Even if I'm a KC fan, I mean, am I confident with this win? I don't know, because it was horrible. You got anything on the game?
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs side of things, they're without Rashee Rice, who is suspended. They're without Xavier Worthy, who's hurt. So you're down your top two wide receivers. I mean, your offense is going to be able to do so much. The Giants side of things, Andrew Thomas, former All-Pro left tackle, started the game, played most of the first half, and then they shut him down, and the offense just vanished after that. But it wasn't very good throughout. Steve Spagnuolo and his return, great coaching job for him, the defensive coordinator. I mean, that Chiefs defense, outside of the mistakes, was for the most part outstanding all game long. So a ton of credit to them, even with the Giants' ineptitude. But there's just not a whole lot more to take away from it. Good win for the Chiefs. See what they can look like with those wide receivers back at some point. But yeah, I mean, they managed to go on the road and get a win, so give them credit for that. There's not much else to be said about it.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
What a crazy weekend, right? Special teams, just unbelievable Sunday football and guys.
I've never seen anything like that with the special teams.
No.
Look, over 20 years of Red Zone, or however you look like Sunday afternoons, all those blocked field goals, never seen anything like it. It was insane. It was just crazy. And it was so unexpected going into the quote-unquote witching hour that it was going to be like that, and that's what's beautiful about this game.
This whole weekend of football was fun, and it's just leaving me for more.
We'll be back for our next episode with you guys. We've got a huge Monday Night Football game to talk about, so we'll start there, and then we'll definitely be diving more into next weekend. Maybe give you guys a little bit of a preview, but we know you guys know what's coming. We're just excited. We want to talk about it, Nelson. But hey, guys, we had fun today. We love football. We'll see you back to talk about the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. For Nelson Jordan, I'm Chris Nelson. This has been the First and Final Word.